Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My dear children, this is the continuity of unit number 15. You children have completed the work up to page number 3. So this is continuing from page number 4. In the page number 4, we are discussing mechanisms involving in maintaining the equilibrium of ecosystem. So once you consider the word equilibrium, maintaining constant, that is called equilibrium. Here in the environment, number of organisms of every species is maintained almost constant, except human. Every organism in the environment is maintained constant, not allowing to increase too much, not allowing to decrease too much. It is maintained at a particular range, right? So similarly, amount of oxygen, amount of carbon dioxide, amount of nitrogen, amount of water, like this, the abiotic factors in the environment also maintained constant. So in this portion, we are going to discuss actually the beginning part. When you consider, they are telling you a flow of energy and nutrients. In that case, energy, if you take energy source of all ecosystems is in the biosphere is the sun. The sun is an inexhaustible resource. It will never ending resource. So for energy, no need to maintain an equilibrium because the sun is there to continuously give us. So energy is not maintained at equilibrium, but nutrients are maintained at equilibrium. Minerals are maintained at equilibrium. To maintain it in equilibrium, there are cycles. To maintain carbon dioxide in the atmosphere constant, there is carbon cycle. To maintain amount of oxygen constant in the atmosphere, there is oxygen cycle. To maintain the amount of water in the earth, there is water cycle. Like this, there are many cycles there. But for energy, though, there's no such cycles. Reason, sun is there. It is continuously giving us energy. It's an inexhaustible resource. So we will get continuously the energy. So the energy is flowing unidirectionally in one way, not going in a cycle, right? So this is the basic idea behind the word flow of energy and nutrients. Now immediately you are coming to the heading called food chain. Actually, from your smaller grade onwards, you study a food chain mean one organ is, it is showing one organism eating another organism. Here, grass is eaten by the grasshopper is eaten by the mouse is eaten by the cobra, and the cobra is eaten by the hawk. Actually, it is showing the flow of energy and material. If you take this arrow shows, okay, energy and materials are flowing from grass to grasshopper. It is true because grass is eaten by the grasshopper, energy and materials are moving from grass to grasshopper. But thing it is not the meaning of the arrow that they are eating it. The meaning is energy and materials are flowing from one organism to another organism. In that case, if you take a food chain, the organism that is at the start, the starting organism will be a photosynthetic organism. So we call them by the word a primary producer. The organism that is at the beginning of the food chain is called a primary producer. right? The rest of the organisms in a food chain who are consuming each other, these organisms are called consumers. All of them are consumers. Okay, grasshopper here is a consumer, mouse is a consumer, cobra is a consumer, hawk is a consumer. Okay, so the point it is, if you take the organism who is directly feeding on the primary consumer. Now we are taking this one. You can mark this one down. Okay, you can mark this note. Sorry, you can mark this note after completing that note. Okay, what I have written. Also, you can include primary producer, energy and materials are flowing. Those things you can include. Thereafter, you are coming here. Okay, it's not easy for you to draw this, but you can write this one. So producer, so producer is whom? A producer will be a photosynthetic organism. Producer will be a photosynthetic organism. It synthesizes its own food. It doesn't consume anything, right? That is going to be a producer. So grass or any plant, any photosynthetic organism will be falling into that category. And thereafter, if you go to the second one, primary consumer. Who is primary consumer? Okay, it feeds on primary producer directly. It feeds on a primary producer directly, right? Generally, they are herbivores. These primary consumers are generally herbivores. Okay. So, following primary consumer, you are coming to secondary consumer. Secondary consumer is whom? What it does? It feeds on primary consumer. Because it feeds on primary consumer, it is okay directly. Okay, it consumes primary consumer directly. Because it is feeding on primary consumer directly, it is called secondary consumer, right? Secondary consumer can be a carnivore, okay, and the one that feeds on secondary consumer is going to be tertiary consumer. The one that feeds on tertiary consumer is the what do you say, quaternary consumer. If you take these ones, that means secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, or quaternary consumer, it can be a carnivore or it can be an omnivore. Two choices. It can be a carnivore or an omnivore. Primary consumer can be a herbivore or an omnivore. Omnivores will come to any one of the categories except the primary producer. Except primary producer, an omnivore can work as a primary consumer, a secondary consumer, a tertiary consumer, a quaternary consumer. Now, for a simple example, take human. There are human, we human eat grasses. In that case, we are primary consumers. There are human eating grasshoppers. In that case, they are secondary consumers. There are human eating rats. They are tertiary consumers. There are human eating snakes. Then they are quaternary consumers. Like this, omnivore, the human, can go to any one of these categories. Further, every component in a food chain, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, all of these ones are called links. Links. So the food chain you have been shown here has 5 links. Okay, in the natural environment, a link, okay, number of links in a natural food chain can go maximum 6. It cannot exceed 6 there. Hope you understood it. Though you don't draw the picture, you mark these details in your note and develop a perfect note there. Okay, right. And thereafter, we are coming to the trophic level. Children, trophic level mean organisms in the same mode of nutrition collectively take a level that is called trophic level. For example, all the producers, one level. All producers, okay, if you consider all producers are coming to first trophic level. All producers are under trophic level, you mark this, okay. Under trophic level notes, you mark this. All producers, first trophic level. All primary consumers, they come to second trophic level. All secondary consumers, they come to third trophic level. All tertiary consumers, they come to fourth trophic level. Okay, like that. All quaternary or ternary consumers fall to fifth trophic level. So one it is. If you take the second trophic level, all are primary consumers. If you take the third trophic level, all are secondary consumers. Understood? Like that, we are dividing them. So number of trophic levels in environment also limited to 5 to 6. This note should come to you under trophic level. Hope you can understand it. Okay, and further, now you are coming to the heading called food web. Food web is a very common heading that we are very much a known heading to you, right? In an environment, you will notice this kind of a food web, right? Say one organism is eating many organisms. So several food chains can be mixed together here. In your lower grades like grade 6, 7, you have studied about food web. So according to your textbook, this is the definition given for food web, the mutual relationship for food among the organisms is referred as food web. Mutual relationship. Different trophic levels of many food chains are interconnected in a web-like structure. Many trophic levels and many food chains are mixed together and make a web-like, net-like structure. Due to this relationship, an organism is free to depend on different type of food. Now, that means you have many choices. If one is not available, another food is available. Okay, the frog doesn't have any, or the mouse doesn't have any. Let's look at this food chain. Does the mouse have any limit? I will eat only grasshopper? Never. Mouse has several choices of food. One of the food choice is grasshopper. If grasshopper is not available, mouse will eat something. If mouse is eating only grasshopper, in the absence of grasshopper, mouse also have to die. Same to cobra, same to hawk. They don't depend on one food item. Their food dependency is many. That is due to the food web nature, right? In this one, you can see the hornbill, the plant animal, it is eating a rat. It is eating the plants also. If plant is available, hornbill will eat the plant. If rat is available, hornbill will be eating the rat. If rat is missing, no problem, it will depend on the plant. If the plant is missing, no problem, it will depend on the rat. So food choices are there. And further, it is avoiding bioaccumulation. Bioaccumulation, later you will study when chemicals, it is the accumulation of chemicals in the body of organisms. Okay, generally organisms in the upper trophic levels are getting those chemicals. Nowadays in our country, organic farming, those kind of ideas, although they have been implemented in a wrong manner, basic concept is good, but implementation is wrong. Okay, that is avoiding bioaccumulation, like side effects of chemical usage. So you children mark food web details of this, and you mark this food chain. No need to draw this. You use plant, rat, rabbit, hornbill, python, hawk. Word wise, you apply this. You complete this food web there. Word wise, if you complete it, that is perfectly enough. Okay, inshallah. Tomorrow I will meet you again with a new set of ideas on unit number 15. Good night. Bye. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.